The action continues. A let's go situation here. Alexei Deacon going up against a double team. Jeffrey Moore has open access to the bucket. What we saw from that normal replay of that last bit of action was Juan Fernandez actually wanting to dish off the against Master Jaworski. We're crossing the twilight zone. That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us.
This is an eternity of basketball. We are part of the Globally Ballin Network. Check out Who the Heck Are We for sports opinions and stories with Claudia and Claro, another show on the Globally Ballin Network. Our top 10 episodes so far on YouTube. Bernie Fabiosa's at number 1 all the way down to Freddy Ubalde. Keep watching. Check out which one is your favorite. Go to globallyballin.com for original articles, audio, and video projects. Check out all the social media of the Globally Ballin Network. And the link, we're on Twitter. If you want to watch us on Twitter, we're streaming live on the Globally Ballin Twitter page right now. So you can watch us there as well. And for all of that, you just need to check out Linktree/Globally Ballin for easy access. All right, so here we are, episode 183 already of An Eternity of Basketball. I'm Charlie Cuna, together with Sid Ventura and Noel Zarate. Our guest today, you saw we are sponsored. We are powered by San Miguel Corporation. If you were a fan of San Miguel in the late 90s into the early 2000s, you know this guy for sure. You were cheering for him. Every spin move, every nice assist, all those steals that he would make, three-pointers. He was one of the prime imports during that time, probably of all time in the PBA. And he's an NBA veteran, played for the Mavericks and the Blazers in the NBA. Played all over the world, actually, but a big chunk of it was here in the Philippines. So let's get right into the discussion. Let's bring him in all the way from Virginia. Helicopter time, baby. Spin those rotors. Lamont Strothers is in the house. Hey, Lamont. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, it's such a pleasure for us and for a lot of the fans. Really excited to hear your story, Lamont, just to chat with us about all the things you went through in your basketball career. So let's dive into it right away. Why basketball? Why not any other sport? Because everybody plays baseball and football in the States. Why basketball?
I mean, I played football. I had offers to play football in college. I played football in high school. I was a quarterback starting quarterback and starting middle linebacker. So I mean, we played. That was a neighborhood thing. I mean, we not just in our neighborhood, but for the city of Suffolk. Sports was really big. Basketball, was really big. We had a lot of good players there, and so it just kind of fell in place, really.
Mm-hmm. All right, hold on. Middle linebacker? You were a middle linebacker? I mean, from quarterback to middle linebacker, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I never came off the field.
Offense and
you played
defense
both
were
sides.
there.
Yeah, exactly. You played both sides.
Yeah, played both sides of the ball.
But when did you finally decide that basketball is going to be your main thing, and that was going to be the path that you would take moving forward in sports?
Well, I was actually, it's a big story that we're trying to fit into one book instead of, my wife is telling me to write, you should do more than one. But I was going to the military, wasn't able to go in the military because of the injury, and ended up going to college playing basketball, and that's how.
Which part of the military did you want to enter? Would you want to go to the army? Were you going to the Marines? What was the plan?
I was enlisted into the army.
Oh, you were in the army already. Okay, and then you had that injury. It's how did you suffer that injury, Lamont?
I was on the basketball court, and a guy, we had gotten an altercation maybe 30 days before that, and he waited for his opportunity to, I guess you would say, pay me back, and he sucker punched me. Right.
Yeah. So he sucker punched. What happened after that? Did he, was he disciplined in any way?
Yeah, he was disciplined.
Were there charges filed?
It's ironically he's a pastor today, but he was disciplined. I don't know the extent of his his actions or disciplinary actions, but I know he was disciplined. Because we had a whole court case about it and everything. So this is back in 1986, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but obviously you moved past that. You went forward and just continued playing basketball. You played it, and then eventually you found yourself at Christopher Newport. What was the decision? What was in the thought process for you to end up in, because of your basketball abilities? We've seen it. We saw you play. Anyone would think that you were definitely capable of playing in an NCAA Division I program. Yeah. Why did you end up in Christopher Newport?
Well, after the Army, after I got the honorable discharge from the Army, by that time it was too late to even try to go to school, and so I ended up working. I ended up getting a job at Gwaltney's Smithfield Packing, and then I played in a summer league that was an annual summer league held in Suffolk, Virginia, where I grew up, and it was a very popular league that had either former pros or guys that were trying to go pro, ex-college players, high-profile league, and I played in that league as an 18-year-old kid, and in one half of the game, I scored 28 on a bunch of ex-pros and former college players, and one of the players on that team happened to be the assistant coach at Christopher Newport, and a guy there that was regular attendance of the league. We called him Chicken Red. He was a very good player, very good college player, played Elizabeth City. He told me, he said, hey, the coach from Christopher Newport is playing on that team. Once you go and introduce yourself. And that I wanted to introduce myself, told him who I was. And he couldn't believe that I was only 18 playing against those guys and doing what I did. And so the rest is history. He told me, hey, I'll be here tomorrow night with financial aid papers, applications, and all that, and I need you to fill it out and get it back to me.
Right.
My question to you is really: you were growing up. Who were your NBA idols? Because when I first saw you, you reminded me of Rod Strickland a lot. Was there a little Rod Strickland in you when you were growing up?
I mean, Rod and I are around the same age. I might be older than Rod, but no, I think I think Rod is 57, 58. But no, I never really patterned my game behind an NBA player. We didn't get we didn't get a lot of that in our neighborhood. I mean, during our time, our times were, Dr. J and George Gervin. Those guys were like the guys the big names when I was coming along. But mine was either, for me, it was like my brother, and then a guy in my neighborhood named Shelton Bryant. We used to call him Shake. That was like the guys that inspired me, and then we just had a neighborhood full of athletes anyway. So it was easy to pick one of those guys and want to pattern your game behind them.
Mm-hmm. When you were playing at Christopher Newport, obviously you were, dominating the competition. You were playing very well over there. Do a lot of NBA scouts go over to Division III games to watch, or was it just because of you? Were they there checking you out?
Well, my senior year, because I was putting up the numbers I was putting up, my senior year, coaches I know from at that time they were the Bullets. Washington Bullets came and scouted my games, but it was more so what I did in the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament and the Orlando Classic that really got me noticed.
Yeah, I think you finished your Division III career third leading scorer in the history of the NCAA Division III, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Third. I know when I finished, it was third. I was third, correct.
Yeah. So obviously you were a scoring machine. During your years in Christopher Newport, did any other school try to poach you or get you to transfer?
Well, when I first came out of high school, I know Georgia was offering me a partial scholarship, but we didn't. We didn't have enough money to go at that time to go to Georgia and pay for schooling. And then trying to figure out the financial aid situation and the living situations. It was difficult then. But once I got to Christopher Newport, some of the local schools like Hampton and Norfolk State, because they were the big schools at that time during my time in this area. Once I got there, and then I know both coaches, Coach Christian and Coach Zeke Avery, both came to watch me play at Christopher Newport and even offered me the opportunity to come to their school.
But obviously you decided to stay with Christopher Newport, and then eventually, your career went on. Since we're talking about your basketball career already, and then Sid prepared a bunch of photos from your career. So I think we should go into our first segment here in the program and start looking at the photos. It's called Time Capsule. It's the Time Capsule, and the Time Capsule is brought to us. Yeah, it's brought to us by Fitbit. It helps everyone in the world get healthier. From counting your steps to giving personalized insights on your heart rate and sleep patterns, log your exercise and access great tools and content on the Fitbit Premium, all of the Fitbit platform. Check out the line of products on Fitbit.com. And of course, Noel is wearing his Fitbit right now. I hope it's serving him well. Let's enter. Feel the power.
It's 1
hour
Fitbit. Behind.
Yeah, let's get into it. The first photo of our time capsule for Mr. Lamont Strothers. Let's check it out. There. Who's that young kid? Who's that young kid? Number 42.
That's
James Worthy fan,
That's where it all started, man. Forest Glen High School, man. Forest Glen Rangers is what it all started. Playing the score basketball. I believe we had on Jay Clare sneakers at that time.
Yeah.
Why 42? Why 42?
Worthy.
At that time, it was just the number that the coach gave me, and I just maintained it.
Okay, so that was random. That's pretty random. He must have been a James Worthy fan. But how old are you in this photo? You must be what 15 or
no? This was my junior year, so I was about 16.
16. Okay.
What's your height then? 16.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, probably about 6'1".
Okay.
So you had your growth spurt soon after that.
6'1", 6'2", huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had your growth spurt right after that, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I kind of grew late senior year.
Mm-hmm. Did you get to play against top level competition? Anyone at this stage of your playing career? Did you play against anyone who eventually made it to the NCAA Division One, NBA as well?
Yeah,
Did
they
you
had a
meet
lot
any
of
of those guys?
guys. Tony Massenberg came from that
Oh
league.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he was one. Brian Stiff came from that league, came from that era.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
Virginia,
couple
right?
NBA vets.
Brian Smith, yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Brian Stitt,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
Denver Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Nuggets.
Good
That's
friend of
right.
mine.
That's right.
He
Matumbo
lives.
era.
He
Okay.
lives in the area as well.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great. But look at you right there. And then at this point in time, who knew that you'd end up all the way in the Philippines somewhere along the way and be one of the crowd favorites? At this point in time, you probably didn't think you were going to go all over the world, playing basketball. At this, was it a dream of yours to make the NBA at this point? I'm going to make it to the NBA. Did you think that at 16
Well,
years old?
I would tell you this. I've always said no, but my mother said that I told her one time I was going to make it to the NBA. I don't remember saying that.
My mother knows
but
best.
but Mama knows,
Yeah.
So, but I knew I was a special kid just from, just from different trials and tribulations. I knew I was a special kid from the things I had already overcome.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's amazing. But
Yeah.
it's great to see this
Yeah.
photo. What's Sid? You want to move on to the
No,
next
I'm
one?
gonna say, yeah. The next one is, I think, Christopher Newport already.
Next photo, please, Claude.
There.
Still 42.
Yeah, I think that was my senior year. Yeah.
Yeah, you kept the 42.
Oh yeah, I kept the 42. I kept the 42. I had 42 for a long time. Even my second year in the NBA with Portland, because Wayne Cooper had 42 when I went to Portland.
Uh-huh.
And when he left, 42, of course, became available. I got it and wore it. I think I wore it during the preseason. But then, of course, I left. And then once you get overseas, the numbers go from 1 to 15. So I took, I think I took 8 or 6. When I came to the Philippines, the first year I had 42, but when Danny Siegel came, the all Filipino, he wanted 42.
Right.
So I just took 6.
Yeah, there's somebody who posted earlier here. Here's one of the comments, one of the fans. You're the greatest beerman, he says. Number 42, number 6, number 33, Lamont Strothers.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just wondering why this guy only greeted Charlie and Noel.
Yeah. Yeah, he did greet
Why was
you.
I included in that comment? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a senior here, and then as you mentioned, and I like the hairstyle too. Yeah, that was like the hairstyle of choice during that time.
Yeah, that's like some Fresh Prince of Bel-Air thing, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a Gumby after that. So
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I had the slant after that hairstyle.
What's your most? Yes, go ahead.
No, I mean, in your college career, who was the toughest player you came up against?
In my college career, oh man, probably when Kennard Winchester transferred from JMU to Avery University because he had a couple of issues there, but that was in my league. I would say, he was one of the ones. A guy named Everett Fox was really good. On my team, we challenged each other on my team. I had guys like Steve Artis and James Borkin on my team, and Troy Wright. So it's been a lot of guys I've come up against. Stacy. What was Stacy's last name? He went to Hampton University as well. So it was a lot of guys, man. A lot of guys to name.
Looking at this picture, I know you're trying to make an entry pass in this one, but could have sworn that this is a young version of Michael Young about to take a jump shot. Because of the 42, right?
Yeah. You talking about Michael Young that went to Alabama?
Houston.
Houston, right? The lefty, right? Was he lefty?
Yeah, he was part of Phi Slamma Jamma.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He also played a few years before you. Well, several years before you in the PBA.
What did he play? I played against Michael Young somewhere. I think it was in Israel.
Oh,
It
maybe.
could have
Yeah,
been because he spent a lot of time in the Spanish league after the PBA.
Yeah,
I don't know if he played in ACB in Liga Endesa, but he spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, I played in Spain. I was in Cáceres. But Michael Young, we played against each other somewhere.
Oh, that's interesting.
Must have not. It's not in the PBA, that's for sure, because he was in the 80s there.
Yeah,
No,
86, 87.
I think
the PBA.
because he was lefty strong guy.
Yeah. You take a jump shot in your face.
Yeah, not too many people.
And he wore the 42 as well. He also wore.
Not too many people. Not too many people did that on me, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if you remember. You remember this guy? Did they show this already? Did someone saying hi?
Yeah, this guy, you might know him.
Hey, that's my guy, man.
Lefty too.
Look,
Yeah,
man,
another lefty.
Alan Kai Dick. He was. People ask me about. When I came over to the Philippines, and Alan really helped me to be a Filipino pro. And it's a difference. He and Norman Black kind of talked me through some things, and the biggest thing was to trust your locals, and Alan had my respect right away. I mean, he's, that guy's special, man.
Yeah, that guy could shoot, right?
He's still shooting.
He still shoots
today.
to this day.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's winning 3-point contests until now against younger guys.
Yeah.
Man,
he beat Glenn Rice. He beat Glenn
really
Rice in the
shoot,
3-point contest here.
I believe that. I believe it.
That's nice, man.
What's our next photo?
Yeah, next photo. Yeah,
okay, here we go.
Back up the card.
Yeah, this is a CBA card, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No. It's still.
Oh, no.
No, it's
still college.
Yeah, it was still a college card.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your strengths and weaknesses, guys, check it out. Tremendous scorer with good range, handles the ball well. Okay, agree. Good rebounder, 8 rebounds a game in the PBA. Works the offensive glass. Defensively, he plays well in the perimeter, capable of guarding a player in the low post. Weaknesses, coming from Division 3. See, look at the way they look down on Division 3, guys. Coming from Division 3, Lamont must prove that he can make the transition to the NBA. He must improve his passing skills to run an NBA offense. That's all they could say about you. Just because you're from Division 3. They couldn't.
That's
They didn't even say
ridiculous.
anything bad in your game. They didn't say anything bad about your game.
Well, I mean, if there was a flaw, that would be it. Because I didn't play the point at Christian Newport, I was a scorer, but I transitioned a little bit to the one in NBA, and unfortunately, do I think I could have stayed in the league? I think if I was persistent and if it was a main goal of mine, I'm sure I could have gotten back. But I had a family already. I was comfortable playing overseas, and it wasn't if it was an all be all and NBA or bust. I probably would have gave it another shot. But I had opportunities even when I was playing in the Philippines. Chicago wanted to bring me in. Vancouver wanted to bring me in. I didn't go back. I was okay where I was. I don't regret the decision. I'm comfortable. I was comfortable then.
It's not like a lot of other players who were playing overseas or in like a minor league like the CBA, that their dream was to get back to the NBA, to get back. That's what they want to do. So you didn't focus on that. You just said, I'm okay where I am.
Yeah, I mean, if my agent who still has connections and works still in the Philippines now, he was very supportive, and he was kind of amazed because I wasn't that guy that was chasing that dream. I had experienced it. I didn't have a great experience there because of the politics and it's a business. So I chose not to go back, or try to go back. We had one situation where I thought about it and I asked our proposition was, if you guarantee me the money that I would miss if I decided to go to vet camp in October, there was a lot of money at that time that I would miss. And so if they would just guarantee that money, then I would, it was worth the risk. But they didn't want to guarantee that money. So when they said no, I said, well, then they don't really want me to come there. It's just another trial situation.
Yeah.
So I didn't go.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way,
What
you
I
can hear
noticed.
some waves in the background. I just want to make a disclaimer that Charlie's actually in the beach right now. So you hear a lot of
Yeah.
people screaming around. I'm sure
Yep.
you missed the beaches
Sorry,
in the Philippines, Lamont.
Yeah, I had to put my dogs out because I knew they would be all over me right now. So I had to put them outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I noticed about this card is your nickname. Here you were known as Helicopter, right? But apparently in college you were known as Strutton.
Well,
Lamont
no,
What's that?
it wasn't Strut, and it's just Strut, STRUT. I don't know where the hell they got that from, but they
Okay.
everyone in my family is called Strut. All the boys,
Oh,
you know.
yeah. It's one of those things for your surname, right? It's also
Yeah,
your nickname.
my youngest son in college right now is called Young Strut. So
Oh, wow. Does he play ball too?
Yeah, all my kids play. I mean, my first set of kids, they cheered in college. They were still athletes, and they've all graduated from college. And now my daughters, my kids by my wife, my two daughters, one played in North Carolina. Now she's an RN. The other, my daughter had a scholarship at Hampton University. She's finishing kinesiology. My son now is at East Tennessee State on basketball scholarship, and my baby boy, who we just dropped him off July 5th at Appalachian State, and he's on a basketball scholarship.
Wow. Okay. So they all followed their daddy playing.
You know what? I just want to share. Guys. I actually tried to give Lamont a nickname when I was broadcasting in the PBA. I used to call him the Lamont Strosity. Didn't catch on for some reason. The helicopter sounded good, so I tried.
Lamont
I tried, Lamont.
Strothers.
Sorry. Yeah. Because there was one time. There was one time he dunked on Bonel Balingit, and I said, "Okay, that's Lamont Strosity right there." It didn't catch on. I'm sorry. I tried.
Nice try, Noel. Nice try.
I mean, I wouldn't say they're following my footsteps, but they are creating their own path. Like I always tell my kids, your path is invisible until you step on it. And so they're creating their own path, and mom and dad are supporting them.
Right. Of course. That's right. Let's look at the next photo, Claude. Let's jump to the next one. It's nice to see the young guy. So when you were playing, senior year, the scouts did see you. Did you have any inkling at all that the Golden State Warriors were going to choose you in the second round of the NBA draft?
Yes. When I went out to visit Golden State on after the PIT. Well, once all the post leagues were over, I went out to visit Golden State, and I had a good workout. And they told me they had the 43rd pick in the draft, and they didn't think. They had the 43rd pick in the draft, but Portland had the 52nd pick, I believe. And Portland said that they wanted to select me, but they didn't think I would be around long enough to get drafted and for them to draft me. So they worked out the deal with Golden State, and they told me that they would trade up and try and get me.
So that's how it happened. So Golden State picks you. Eventually, you end up with this team that's on the photo with the Portland Trail Blazers, and I'm just looking at the lineup, and I remember all these guys. This is a team that went to the finals, right?
Finals. Yeah.
Finals. Yeah.
Right.
This team went to the finals. Two of them are no longer with us. Three of them are no longer with us, right? Oh no,
Right.
two of them. Three. The three. Yeah, the three guys beside each other. They're on the top. They're all gone.
Yeah, two of them, Cliff Duck and Jerome
Wayne.
Kersey. No.
Wayne Cooper too. Wayne. Wayne
Yeah.
Cooper too, right? Oh, so there's four.
No,
There's
no,
four
Cooper's
guys.
still alive.
No, he passed away, Lamont. He passed away.
When?
Yeah, just a few months ago. Just a few months
Wayne
ago.
Cooper?
Alex English posted about it. Yeah, Alex English posted about it on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I hope I'm not killing him, but yeah, but I remember Alex English. No,
Yeah.
Alex English posted about it. I swear, I remember. So I was
Yeah,
I actually looked back.
you can ask around. Yeah, you can ask around. I'm pretty
Well,
sure
I
I
mean,
saw that
I'll
too.
look it up. I mean,
So Duckworth, Cliff, Wayne Cooper, and Jerome Kersey.
Jerome
I forgot
Kersey.
about Jerome Kersey.
Yeah, Jerome
Yeah.
Kersey,
Kersey.
several years ago.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you're teamed up here on this squad with a former PBA import as well, who won a championship with San Miguel as well, and it's
Well,
Watley.
Enos Watley,
Enos
yeah.
Watley, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Enos and I talk all the time.
no, that's great.
Rob,
So I've been inviting him on the show too, but he hasn't said yes. But yeah,
So
Ennis
what was it
Watley
like
won.
being on this Blazer
Yeah.
squad in '91? That's a strong Blazer
91,
squad.
92. Yeah.
Anytime it would
This
have been
was
going to the finals.
yeah. This was peak Clyde Drexler. He finished second in the MVP race that season. You know, what was it like playing
Terry
with him?
Porter, right?
yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, the practices were very competitive, and I learned a lot from that year. Work ethic, different types of things to do to take care of your body. It was a very good. I mean, Wayne and I, not Wayne, Buck Williams and Enos Watley and I and Robert Pat, all us used to play one-on-one a lot, and Buck used to foul all the time, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just interject.
How about-
I just checked. Wayne Cooper passed away on April 11th of this year.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, April 11th. He had a kidney problem before that. That's what it says on his Wikipedia page.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about picking up stuff from Terry Porter? I mean, Terry Porter is probably not the most athletic guy on the team, but he's like the brains of this squad. What was it like with Terry Porter?
Terry was a good guy, man. He would pull you. I mean, because he knew the offense inside and out, and you have to know that when I came from Christopher Newport, we had a few plays, but the main play was get the ball to Lamont. So when you came there, when you came to, man, that's that Marcus Liberty. Who was that?
yep, that is from Illinois.
That is Marcus Liberty.
And I remember, I think I had like 9 points that game, something like that. But it was that was at our place because we had on the white jerseys. But anyway, he really helped me understand the offense because it was a little more intricate. I mean, because at Christian Newport we ran the flex. But here we ran what we call turnout, and turnout is a lot like the flow offense from Golden State, but we we still had the rim runner, we had all the cuts and all that, and it was they gave me a playbook, and I'm like, what is this? And I had to learn, I have some of that with me, and I show some of the kids, and I say these are things that you have to learn on the next level. And I showed them that just that fast break system that we ran had 21 options.
Wow.
and so you had to know those options. I mean, you didn't get to all those options, because of the 24-second clock. But if the ball went to a certain place, you had to know where you were supposed to go. And then you had to know the options off of them,
Right.
So that was different, And I challenged my high school boys the same way. We don't run a lot of. We do some good stuff. We make people think when they play us. You have to know where because we don't make a lot of calls. It's all about ball. It's predicated by ball movement and ball position and so it's hard to read it. So you just got to kind of play through it.
How special was Clyde Drexler?
You know, Clyde. In what way? Are you on the floor, off the floor?
No, I mean as a superlative athlete. I mean this guy's 50 greatest, 75 greatest player, but playing with Clyde and all the comparisons with him between him and Michael Jordan. I mean, how superlative of an athlete was this Clyde Drexler guy?
He was a hell of an athlete. I mean, Clyde could run. Clyde played tennis. Clyde can play basketball. You know, and Clyde was a very strong guard. You know, and you may not think it. You know, but he had huge hands. You know, I mean, of course, he had great leaping ability from all the way from Houston to the NBA. You know, the biggest thing, like all the guys had to do at that time, was get better at the jump shot, and he got better at his jump shot because he just jumped so high on his jump shot that he would curl his legs. You know, and and so I mean, and then off the court, he's a Southern guy, you know. So he has a Southern hospitality, you know. I mean, when I would come to Portland, when I would come to Portland, I called Clyde, and he would, let me use his car while I'm there, and then, he would take me back to the airport, you know. So he couldn't get out, but he would take me back and drop me off.
Great.
Yeah, what was it like? Portland. The Blazers are like the only sports team there, right? So,
Right.
What was the Portland community like?
It was it's kind of a very tight-knit community still. You know, it's of course, you stick out like a sore thumb. Everybody knows who you are, you know. So, but I mean, it wasn't. I enjoyed Portland. You know, I go out to eat. You know, people were respectful of your time with your family or whoever you're with. And I would always still sign autographs. You know, but they would wait till I was finished eating, or, so it was pretty cool.
I got a piece of trivia for you, for everybody here, that you know that Portland is the only NBA city that has not hosted an All-Star game. Has not hosted an All-Star game in the history of the league. I mean, there's several times that they've been to other cities. Why do you think that is? I mean, they have the Rose Bowl. I'm sure they got hotels there, but how come Portland's never hosted an All-Star game?
Maybe because it rains so much, you know.
Rains in Seattle too, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I don't know, but I don't know. I mean, it's a great place, it's a good city, but I'm not sure. But it rains a whole lot. I mean, it rains.
Maybe the owners have never bid. Maybe the owners never bid for that because it's a bidding thing, right?
It's a bidding thing. Yeah.
So maybe that's one of the reasons.
You have the Rose Bowl every year, but you don't have an All-Star game.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy trivia too. Yeah, but I like to hear. I like this move. The number 12. Looking at the shoes, those are Converse, right? Those are Converse shoes that you're wearing there now.
the old weapon.
Do you keep? Did you keep your jerseys from the Blazers and then from the Mavericks?
I did, but I don't know where they are. I know someone recently. Someone gave me they had it made and gave me a Portland jersey.
Oh, okay.
The number 12, and but I don't know where those jerseys are.
Okay, let's jump to the next Bloods.
Yeah, it must be worth a lot of money on eBay now if you have a
Filipinos will pay.
There we go.
So you did. Yeah. You were in the NBA, and we.
There's a party going on.
We weren't able to find the Dallas Mavericks. A photo of you in a Dallas Mavericks. I know. Sorry, guys. Yeah, but we weren't able to find the Dallas Mavericks jersey, on Lamont. So sorry about that. So we jumped to this. But you did play in the CBA as well. Can you just tell us shortly about your CBA experience?
I didn't like CBA too much, and I don't think CBA liked me. But I well, I mean, and you have to think about it. When I finished out at Rockford, and I did enjoy Rockford. I met a lot of good people in Rockford. But you have to think about it. everyone in that CBA during that time, they were all fighting to get a spot in the NBA.
Mhm.
And so then the NBA guy comes there, and they're not going to be very friendly because you know, when you come, you kind of start right away. So you putting somebody on the bench that's you know, trying to make their way to the NBA as well. So you know, they didn't take that very well. And I don't know if I would have taken it very well. You know, so you know, it wasn't a very. I met some good guys and good, you know, had some good friends, but it wasn't a great experience for me. You know, and other than, like I said, when I went to Rockford, and I finished out at Rockford, so I enjoyed that time.
Yeah. So how'd you end up
And
in the
then,
PBA?
no, I was about to say before the PBA question. I mean, how did you make the decision that I want to play overseas? I want to see what basketball's like out there.
Well, before I came back to the CBA, I went to Greece.
Mhm.
I went to Yakima maybe for a few games, and it was more, you know, basically a holding
Mhm.
point or holding period. And I went to the Saloniki right after that, and I wasn't there long. But then when I came back, I you know, I tell people I didn't like Greece, but at that time, but that's because that was the first time I was out of the country, and I had no one to tell me what to expect. So the good thing about some of the guys here that I know that are going overseas, they talk to me. I tell them expect the worst first, you know, because when I went there, you know, I went over there looking for America, and you're not going to find America over there, you know. So, and so there was some disappointing times, and you know, there was a language barrier. A lot of people didn't speak, you know, English like in Israel or in the Philippines and things like that. So it was different for me, but I adjusted, you know, but that team didn't work out, so I came back, and then I got a taste of what Greece or what overseas is, and so I didn't mind or what it was and how the game played and it was played, and so I didn't mind, going back. And the next stint I got after Greece, I
Puerto
think it was,
Rico.
well, Puerto Rico's different. You know, Puerto Rico's more vacation for us.
How
I mean,
so? How
it's great.
so?
It's great basketball, you know, at Puerto Rico
Okay.
because, you know, I mean, a lot of those guys play in America, you know, and but it was you know, beaches and um water parks and things like that, you know, things, you know, and you know, some of my kids went, you know, my wife or girlfriend at the time, she came with me. And so, I mean, it was good basketball, but you didn't practice a lot. We practiced some, you know, mostly in the evening. So you had all day, um, you know, to do whatever you're gonna do. And because it's too hot to practice in the daytime, you know. But I used to go in the gyms and work out, you know, because I stayed in the gym. Um, but me and, you know, guy, especially when I was over in Arecibo, Pachi Cruz, and those guys, we used to work out a lot. So even in the heat, you know, and and then that's when I started lifting a lot more, like I was lifting when I was in Portland. So by 2000 or 99, when I was in the Philippines, of course, I was a lot bigger
Mhm.
than the average guard, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You spent a lot of time in Israel too before you came to the Philippines.
Yeah, I did 2 years in Israel. Or yeah, actually a year and a half. The
Mhm.
team I was on the second year, they went into financial difficulty, so I ended up leaving, which was a great thing. Because it ended up my first daughter by my wife. We She was almost not able to fly back home because, you know, after 6 months they won't let you fly, and she was right on the borderline, and so we got out
Mhm.
of there just in time.
How did you first hear about PBA in San Miguel Beerman?
Um, my agent, you know, they contact your agent. I didn't know anything about PBA at that time, and they contact your agent. My agent was Andrew Vi, and they contacted him, and he contacted me, and I talked to Norman Black, and I came over.
What
Oh,
were your
yeah.
impressions?
Okay,
Did anybody,
yeah.
any of your friends play in the Philippines? Did any of your friends play in the Philippines before you were asked to play in the Philippines?
That I can't remember.
Well, Enos
Okay.
Watley,
I know
yes.
Enos.
Yeah, Enos Watley, yeah.
Yeah, but we hadn't talked about the Philippines at that time. But I know Enos was over there.
Yeah. What were your
So,
first impressions when you landed?
Man, that was what, 96? Shit,
96, yeah.
that's like
96,
26 years ago. I can't
Yeah,
I can't
27
remember
years
my
ago.
kids' names day to day. So, you trying to tell me for 26 years?
No, but
I,
what your impressions?
you know,
You've never been to Asia before. Israel isn't really technically part of Asia. So what were you expecting when you arrived?
I didn't know. I mean, I really didn't know. I mean, I released expectations going overseas after Greece, and so I just, when I would get there, I just build throughout the community and find places I like to eat, find places I like to visit, places I like to go and sit and read, things like that. So those were always things that were important to me. Find where I can take my daughters, and well, my oldest daughter by my wife actually learned to walk in the Philippines, and
Wow.
and that was scary.
Why was it scary?
All the floors were marble, or
Yeah.
or slated or whatever. So I mean, there were times she fell, and I that's what helped my defensive slides, trying to get up and catch her before she falls.
That's a great story. Did you realize how big basketball was in the Philippines, and did you realize that your team, the San Miguel Beermen, had a grand slam, had a lot of history? I mean, when you learned all of this, I mean, what was it like?
Norman did a good job of preparing me, and like I said, Alan did a good job of staying in my ear, and especially when it was time to play Ginebra,
Yeah.
that was different, that was different, and so I mean, because at that time Jaworski was playing, and I got in a fight. Wasn't long after I got there, I got in a fight, and with what was it, Alan Mosqueda,
Cadel
and
Mosqueda.
Adel Mosqueda.
Cadel Mosqueda.
and
Yeah.
then the guy who passed away was Jack Tanua.
The new one, yeah.
Yeah,
Jack
Yeah,
Tanoa,
another
yeah.
one, yeah.
yeah. We had a friendly game, and I was
Wasn't
a
so
physical
friendly,
guard.
huh?
I was a friendly guard. I mean, I was physical
Yeah.
guard, and they were mostly Mosqueda. He was supposed to be the import stopper. I'm like, well, I mean, weren't too many Americans can guard me, so I wasn't necessarily worried about anyone else stopping me. So, but I was physical, and I loved to practice. I was a part of the practice there, and even in that friendly game, I took it serious, and it got a little out of control. Someone threw a punch at me, and I didn't take that. I didn't take too kindly to that. So we it became a brawl.
I remember that came out in the papers, a preseason brawl. Yeah, I remember there was a
Man,
photo of you, I think, going after someone, and Jack Tanoan was trying to step in between you and Cadel. I vaguely remember a photo like that. Yeah, but yeah,
Well,
that leads me to my next question. Who was? Oh, anyway, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you were saying.
People say that Jack was stepping in to be a peacemaker, but you don't run to be a peacemaker with your fist balled up.
Okay.
That's different.
All right. Okay. The photographer must have gotten it wrong, or the editor. Because
No,
that's
that's
what
good
was
context.
written there. Yeah.
Well,
Finally, we
you
get
have
the
to
real
paint,
story.
You have to paint me as the bad guy because I'm the local. I mean, I'm the import. So I'm going to be that's a no-win situation for me.
Yeah, and you were a newcomer. You were also a newcomer, right? So
Yeah.
didn't know you
Yeah.
yet. So I guess yeah, we usually ask our guests here, who welcomed you to the PBA. So I guess that's our
Who gave
answer,
you your
Cadel
first
Mosqueda.
tit?
Yeah, gave you your first, hit.
Huh?
So
Say
I
it
guess
again?
it's Cadel. Yeah. Who gave you your first? Who welcomed you to the PBA?
Man, everybody.
Yeah, welcome, import.
Look.
Yeah.
When,
I can imagine everyone hit him.
look. My first game was over. Was it? What's the I won't say the first game. One of my first games was over at friendly game. It was a big game, exhibition game over the Coliseum or the place over in Posse, over near Posse, is the Field Sport.
Okay, Ultra.
Yes,
Ultra.
yes, Phil Sports.
Yeah, Phil
Yeah,
Sports.
Phil
Yeah.
Sports. the
Ultra.
Ultra.
Listen, I shot 65 free throws in that game.
Wow. They were knocking you silly, huh?
Look, Ron Jacobs said, look, this guy keeps getting hit time after time, and he keeps attacking the basket. We have to have him back.
Yeah. I'm sure that impressed Coach Ron for sure. He kept coming back.
Crazy. So,
Well, I think that was the
Yeah.
last photos
Yeah.
for the first half, right? But yeah, let's just remind everyone we're part of the Globally Ballin Network. And if you want to watch us on Spotify, send us some love. Rate us with a 5-star rating on Spotify, please, everybody. You can become our monthly supporter as well for $4.99 or 250 pesos on Spotify. We will recognize you in our future episodes and love you forever. Globally Ballin
Yes.
Southeast Asia, please follow that on Facebook for all the tidbits of the shows on the Globally Ballin Network. And so we dive right back into the time capsule, which we remind everyone is brought to us by Fitbit. It helps everyone in the world get healthier. From counting your steps to giving personalized insights on your heart rate and sleep patterns. Log your exercise and access great tools and content on the Fitbit Premium or on the Fitbit platform. Check out their line of products on Fitbit.com. Feel the power. Okay, then what's next? I'm sure it's more PBA photos. There, Ginebra.
Oh,
That's
Ginebra. Wow.
On
Who's
the
that,
left
Marlo?
side. Marlo Aquino.
Marlo and the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noli
And the
looks
tank,
in.
Noli
And-
Locsin.
and-
If you remember
You
those
get
guys.
past Marlo Aquino, Noli Luxin's ready to give you a hit.
Yeah. You already mentioned Ginebra and Jaworski a while ago. So yeah, what are your Ginebra stories?
oh my God, man, there was some classic battles. Hey, man, I remember, Noli Loxin is a great guy, man.
He is.
I spoke to Marlu. Marlu, it was Marlu, Allen, Nick Velasco, and I think Sean Chambers and them. They went and played somewhere recently. They traveled somewhere and played like an old times game. And I spoke to all of those guys while they were traveling through the airport. And but I mean, we had some battles, man. I didn't take a lot of crap from people and from players. They hit me, I hit back. The guy that used to get under my skin though, what's his name?
Is he from
Luke
Ginebra?
Guard. Yeah, Luke Guard played for them.
Bal David.
No, not him.
Not Bal, huh?
His wife does something with TV now.
Vince, he's on?
Vince Heason, that guy right there.
Really?
Vince Heason, really?
Man,
What would he do?
How
That'd be
can
great.
Vince Heason get under your skin? He's a trash talker,
Man,
I know, but
and which later on, of course, we talked and we used to talk all the time. But on the court, we used to go at it, And but and any little chance I got to throw him down, I would throw him down. And
Well, he does a commentary. He does analysis of the PBA coverage now.
yeah, he's a
yeah?
sportscaster now.
Yeah.
He was our guest a
Well,
few months ago. But
Yeah, why'd you do that, Lamont? Was he too pretty for you?
No. I mean, I don't see pretty in a man, but he would always try to hold me and take little cheap shots, and I would always get him back. And
wow, this
but-
is a major revelation. I
Yeah,
mean,
this is I can't believe that
I
about
know.
Vince, but
Yeah.
okay.
No, Vince was a
Wow.
trash talker. I didn't know he was like taking cheap shots at
Yeah.
imports.
Oh
Wow.
man, he would take little cheap shots and all that. But I mean, it was all in fun, sport of the game. It was all fun. I mean, I don't. Of course, I don't hate anybody. We didn't have that type of relationship where I would or disrespect for each other. We respected both each other, and we played hard. He played hard. I played hard. That just so happened that at that time, because Jaworski was his final year. I think he was 50, and they beat us that year. And Jaworski came and said, "Maybe you come play for me next year." I said, "Man, I don't team up with the devil."
That's nice. I mean, that's
Yeah,
nuts, man.
but Jaworski doesn't invite just anyone to join his team. So
Right.
Yeah,
He
he
must
must have
have
seen
seen
something in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we competed. I mean,
Yeah,
and
sure you did.
when I say devil, it's not meant, in a malicious way. It was like I'm not like these guys who team up with who wants to team up and be a super team. I want to beat you.
Right. But
Technically,
speaking
you
of
were on a
teaming up,
super team. Yeah,
yeah,
technically
exactly.
you were a
But
super team. San Miguel's ridiculous at the time. You had all the components of being a champion on that team.
Oh yeah, I mean, man, that was probably one of the best assembled teams. Ron Jenkins and Coach Uchiko did a great job of building that team, and it like I tell people all the time, it prolonged my career, because Danny took a lot of Danny Ildefonso, Danny Siegel, Borbitz Victoria, all those, and bless his soul, and even, when Sam Boy didn't play, we played maybe a couple games together, but man, that team was loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But '96, your first year, it was that was also the year of the Alaska Grand Slam.
Oh,
Grand
No
yeah,
one
Slam.
else,
yeah.
no one else could
Yeah.
win a
Now,
championship, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was also a super team as
Yeah.
well.
When
You
we
remember
beat them,
going up
it
against them?
was yeah. When we beat them, when we finally beat them, it was like the Cavaliers or LeBron beating the Celtics.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
because it
Yep.
was. I mean, I tell people all the time, they ran the triangle extremely well in Alaska. They were very disciplined, and when we got the two Dannies, and then Fred Abuda, who he guarded everybody, and all the best players Freddie guarded him, and then I used to do this drill with the big guys, with he's in the States now. I just saw him recently.
Dorian Pena.
Dorian, I saw,
Mhm.
I used to do it with Dorian, Danny, and all those. I used to do this drill, which John and them thought I was crazy, but it was a finishing drill, and no one could really bang with the guys to make them work. Like I called Dorian used to miss a lot of around the baskets catch and putbacks. He used to miss a lot of those, and a lot of them because he wasn't used to the contact, and finishing through the contact, and we did a lot of those drills, and that's really what kind of took us over the top, because you're going to cancel out with me and Danny. We would cancel out playing against the Rimdis and Johnny A and
Sean
those
Chambers.
guys,
Yeah.
and Sean Chambers. So those three are going to cancel out. It's what Danny Alfonso would do and what Dorian Pena and them would do in order to move ahead, because you're going to get 75, 80 points between the four of us or the three of us anyway. And so now you have to contend with those guys with the putbacks,
Yeah.
You're naming all these all stars.
Yeah.
All these San Miguel all-star guys. What's the next photo? You also got to play in an era where there were two imports.
Yeah.
Now it's always just one import. So you got the team with guys like you saw Larry Robinson a bit earlier, and then Mario Bennett and all
Mario
these
Bennett, yeah.
these guys. So those were nice combinations. Then you did finally win championships, as you said. You beat Alaska in the '99 Governors Cup. You were the best import of that conference. You beat Alaska 4-2. You won also the championship against Pure Foods in 2000, 4-1. Against that Pure Foods team as well. Then you got a runner-up trophy against Santa Lucia in 2001. So you got your individual awards, you got your team awards. You were here so many times, man. The fact that you're rattling off all these names of the Filipino players, it just goes to show you how long you were here that you remember all these names. It's crazy, and I understand. But by what you're saying, you still have relationships with them. You still talk. You're still in contact with a lot of the Filipino players, right?
Yeah. I still talk to some. Nick Velasco and I talk probably more than everyone else. And but yeah, I still talk to stay in contact with the guys. On the photo on the left with Ronnie. What's Ronnie's last name?
Nathaniels.
Yeah, Ronnie
Nathaniels.
Nathaniels. I messed his tie, his hair.
You did. You did. Okay.
Something we all wanted to do.
Something we all want to do is mess up his hair. But anyway, he's already left us too. In case you didn't know, Lamont passed away a few years ago. Ronnie.
Yeah, 2015.
I believe he and Ron Jacobs passed. Yeah, he and Ron Jacobs passed in the same year.
Oh, okay.
No, and Ronnie, I think Ronnie passed away first.
Okay.
2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Right. He said, "Hey, next time I interview you, don't mess up my tie."
If
that was a special time also, yeah.
I'm sure he said something else, because
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the same question. I'm going to ask the same question I asked. Yeah, go ahead, Lamont. Yeah.
Oh, the interview was actually on YouTube. You can Google it.
Oh, is it?
On YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll check that out later.
You were on that team in '99 when Danny Siegel was hands down going to be the Rookie of the Year. In your opinion, should he have also been the MVP in '99?
Well, I don't know. I mean, for that league, I would say yes, but I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. That was my granddaughter toy. But
oh, it's a toy. I thought it was the real dog.
No, they're still outside. They're probably thinking like, what the heck is going on? But but yeah, I got a big old cane Corso and
wow,
boxing,
nice.
boxing picnic.
Yeah. Big boy, huh?
Yeah, she's a big girl.
So you're saying Danny should have been MVP in '99?
But I don't know. I know he should have been. I know he should have been MVP. He what he got, he deserved when I was there because I know he was really good. So I don't know what went on beforehand because I don't see all.
Yeah, because you were only here for the Governors Cup, right?
Right.
You weren't here for the other.
Two. That's right.
He was fantastic. He
was.
I throw the ball to him at any time and say, "Hey, man, go."
Yep. He was really great.
We got in a big argument on the floor one year.
What was that about?
Really?
It was just two. We were basically just talking about where we were going to eat that night, and I said, "No, we're going to eat somewhere else."
Really, that was a discussion
on the floor. On the floor.
That was a discussion. That's crazy.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question. Where did you hang out when you were here?
Yeah. I've always wanted to know that.
Well, I don't know if y'all. So, VTV. You remember VTV?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the broadcast network.
Right. So, I DJ'd when I was there.
Oh wow!
And because I DJ now, and but I DJ in almost every country I've ever been in, or pretty much cities too. And so I used to hang out at Mars because that's where I used to DJ. And VTV came in and did this big. You may be able to get it. They came in and did this big
feature.
TV feature when I was there DJing, and then I used to go to Fridays a lot and just hang out there. Because that was right up the street from Posse. Because I like to walk, so in a lot of places I would walk unless we going down to Makati. And
So you stayed in Pasig near El Pueblo.
yeah,
where you-
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where
St. Francis Square. Yeah,
Oh
El
my gosh,
Pueblo.
El
Yeah.
Pueblo,
Yeah,
hangout of
yeah.
the '90s and early
Yeah,
2000s.
that's why I used to go to Fridays a
Yeah.
lot. And like I said, Mars. And then sometimes they used to have this party or this or little club in the hotel down there. I don't know if it's Shangri-La or wherever it was, but they used to have this, like a little club down there. We used to go there. So, but that's pretty much where I used to hang out.
What's the
Right,
food you missed it most in the Philippines? Because I know you like food wherever you travel. So what's the food that you gravitated to when you were in the Philippines?
So when we were going to provinces, right, I used to love to get the marlin, the blue marlin. Is that what it was?
Oh
Oh man,
yeah. Blue Marlin.
Look, man, that was really good. That was the first time I've eaten it. When I came over to the Philippines, and because over here it's a trophy fish, and and so then it's a different name over there, but it's what's beef stew. Over here we just call it beef stew.
Bulalo.
Who?
Bulalo. Is that what you call? Is that what you're referring
Bulalo,
to? Bulalo,
the dish,
beef?
the dish.
Yeah.
Yeah, just regular
The
like
name of the dish.
beef
So
stew.
the one with the bone marrow. The one with the bone marrow. Is that what
No,
you're
just
talking
like
about?
just like beef and it's like beef stew, like beef and vegetables. And I know it when I hear it, but
Caldereta.
No.
no, it's
Not
like.
even. No. Bistec.
But we used to eat
Those
it
are
a
the
lot.
things that we eat.
Yeah, it's like it's like chunking beef stew, but it's they call it something different over there. But I used to eat that a lot. But then after that, it was mostly all the American restaurants.
Jollibee.
No, I didn't eat Jollibee. No.
No way, really?
No,
Oh, junk food. Oh, junk food.
So,
Did you ever eat balut?
No, didn't do that either. No. So look, doing a cause didn't they have Oliver's sandwich shop over there?
Yeah, they do.
Yes,
They do.
yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Glorieta.
that was my routine. I would get up in the morning, and usually I go and work out at the field sport. They had that track out there.
Yeah.
So I would go there, work out at the track, go to practice, because I would always come to practice already sweating, and no one believed like what in the world, But that was just my routine, and because I say you either interested or obsessed, and so I was that guy, I was, I believe in practicing hard, and all the guys will tell you we should have some phenomenal practices, but then I would leave there and go shower, and I would go to Oliver Sandwich Shop and have my lunch, and then either the Pancake House, because I like eating breakfast at night,
Still there.
Yeah. Wow.
Still here. Yeah.
Still there.
I'm getting hungry.
I used to eat there all the time doing it, or Sabaros. We go to Sabaros and eat.
Yeah. Still there.
So,
I love how all the memories are there for Lamont. He remembers everything, man. It's crazy.
I'm telling you, I talked to you, Lamont. I think it was I think it was '98 when I talked to you, and all you and I talked about was food. That's why I remember you being a foodie. Really, as in '98 in Cuneta, we were having conversation about food.
That's in Spain. That's a picture of Spain. I was in Cáceres. I remember that.
Who were the big names you played against in Liga Endesa? Because a lot of people are saying Liga Endesa, outside of the NBA, ACB Liga Endesa is like the second best pro league in the world.
Oh man, I can't remember all those guys.
Now maybe that's where you went up against Michael Young, because he stayed there a while.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember where I played against I don't know. He was in France.
Yeah, that's because you're all over the place. It's hard to pinpoint who was where, right?
He did play. He did play. When you were in Lyon, he was playing in France. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I didn't. My thing was, they were always trying to lock me in for 2 years contracts. Only place I kind of did that was really the Philippines, but they over in other countries, they were trying to lock me in for 2 years, but I knew that I didn't want that to happen because I knew I would come that year and I would play really well because I could score. And every team I went on, the team elevated. And so what they would do is they would give you 150 this year and 175 you sign for the next year for 175 or 200. But I know my game would surpass that $50,000 raise. So I wouldn't sign for 2 years. So, but which enabled me to get more money with, other places, so, if you came with, 120,000, I'm like, the second year you want to give me 150,000 when I know I can get 175 somewhere else and you didn't want to match it, I leave. So that was that's why I bounced around because the paychecks increased.
Why not, right? Just follow where the money is. No, but let's go back to the players though. Go back to the players, Lamont. When you were here in the Philippines, who were your toughest opponents, import and local?
The imports were always good. The Brown kid, Derek Brown.
Yeah.
Derek Brown.
Was it Derek Canada? Was that his last? That was his.
Yeah, I think he was here too. Yeah, Derek Canada was here.
That was my first year. We averaged around 39 points together. Canada, and then the guy with the afro that played at Santa Lucia.
Damian Owens.
Damian
Owens
was he was a tough cover because he was long, and then that was pretty much. Because that was in the of course when I played in the big league, because I played in the big league too, and that was the guy that played at Miami, University of Miami, Ohio.
Who was that?
Devin Davis.
Devin Davis.
Yeah.
Devin Davis.
So
Devin Davis.
Right.
Played for Alaska.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Yep, with the dread.
He's that was a good battle. Let me see. Those are the guys that stand out. That Tony Harris was there with me, but he was only there briefly. He didn't come back.
Right. And that was he was like on the downside of his PBA career already when he came here. At that time, because he was in the early 90s. He was the Hurricane, right? He was the least thing.
Yeah. So, but
how about the locals? Who do you remember? Who do you remember the most from the locals? I mean, that I don't know. Like you said, you could probably eat them all alive, but who kind of gave you a hard time among the locals?
The Remdes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Meneses, huh? Not Meneses.
The Remdes.
Okay.
I'm
not surprised.
On offense or in defense?
It's usually both. But yeah. What about Kenneth? What about him?
Offensively and defensively. He was long. He was one of the guys I said that definitely could have played in the States. Meneses was good too, but he wasn't as. I don't think he was as. Maybe his numbers showed it, but I think the Remnants impacted the game more. Because Meneses couldn't guard me. I would just tell you, Meneses couldn't guard me, but the Remnants did a good job. The Remnants made you come out. What we say, he made you go on your back. So he.
And to think that Durandis was playing in a triangle system where you had to be very disciplined, and yet he stood out for you.
Yeah, and he made you be the helicopter. You couldn't come out and be, just a little crop duster. You had to come out and be the helicopter to play against him.
What about
one year you were here? The one year you were here.
His MVP year.
Yeah, it was his MVP year, 98.
Yeah. All right, say it again.
I want to know about the helicopter. How do you find that moniker? I don't even remember who gave you the helicopter, but it's better than
Um,
Lamont Strothers, I guess.
Ronnie Nathaniels was calling that game when it happened. I believe it was Ronnie, and he was a young guy at that time.
One of the broadcasters, you mean?
Yeah, broadcaster.
Was it
Anthony
Chino
Suntay?
Trinidad? Anthony Suntay, Chino Trinidad.
Anthony Suntay.
Anthony Suntay, yeah.
Anthony, yeah.
Yeah. So what happened? We were playing against. I was in the big league. I think I was in the big league, and I don't remember the big import. I don't remember his name. That he was with Santa Lucia, I think. And so I drove baseline, and I made a spin move. When I made the spin move and I went in the air, the big guy from Santa Lucia, he jumped, and I moved the ball around his arm and under him, and before I landed, and scored the basket. And then that's when they called it the helicopter move, and that was been it since then.
Yep, that's how everybody knows you here.
Yeah.
But did you like it when you first heard the helicopter? It's better than strut, right?
No, it's not better than strut. But the strut is the family name, so it's not going to be better than strut.
Oh, okay. But you like the helicopter when they called you the helicopter.
Well, I wasn't opposed to it. You know, I know it. I know they nickname everybody. You know, and it's like Nelson Asatono, the Bull. You know, that was my guy too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So the just Flying A with John Avarientos and so I mean they give you
Dynamite Danny. Dynamite.
Yeah. So I mean, Strut is everything. I'm Coach Strut. I'm DJ Strut. That's what everybody calls me here with the DJ Strut. My YouTube page is DJ Strut. My Facebook page is Strut the DJ. So it's Strut is the name I've had since high school.
Yeah, it's not really your nickname. It's your name. Strut, right?
Yeah,
right.
Well, it's right there.
It's spelled STRUT, but my name is actually spelled STROT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For all your the next photo, put it up. For all your efforts, you were named to the Hall of Fame.
Well,
Basketball
we
Hall
can't
of Fame.
read that. Sorry, it's pixelated, but
Yeah,
that's from
it says
That's Christian Newport.
three-time All-American, NBA draft selection, second leading scorer in Division III history, inducted in 1997, Lamont Strothers. So that's what it says.
Yeah, you have to wait 5 years at Christian Newport. So you have to wait 5 years before you will be put in the Hall of Fame.
So was it a big ceremony when they inducted you?
My mother and them went. I wasn't there. I was overseas.
Yeah, you were actually in the Philippines, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because that would have been 96, 97. I would have been in the Philippines. Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, congratulations on that.
What's the next
always great
photo?
to be recognized.
Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
and then what's next?
What's
Check
our next
out the
photo,
next one.
Claudia?
We're about to wind up our time capsule. Yeah, this is you as a referee. That's why I found it amazing. I said we have to include this. Well, what happened here?
Yeah.
Why are you in the stripes?
I officiated for 7, 8 years, and I was I was moving pretty good. I was in Division I camps. I was going to be picked up in the Division III conferences. But what happened was the reason why I got out of it, other than going back coaching my kids, my father had gotten sick, and my stepdad and my mom's husband, and she was having to take care of him. When a person becomes bedridden, pretty much that the person taking care of them, can take them quicker than the person that's laying there and is feeling ill. So, I kind of wanted to stay around, and because the officiating was taking me a lot of places. I was about to go into the top 100 camp, which is where a lot of NBA officials get selected or start making their move. But I had to, I decided to stay, go back to coaching and be around my mom a little more, so to make sure that my father's sickness didn't take her too.
You never went back to it though. I mean, you could have like been like the next Hayward Workman or something like that, former pro going to be a referee.
I didn't. Once I stepped away from it, because it's an age limit as well. It's not quote unquote, but it is. I don't think it's listed in the bylaws, but they give you that, and so I didn't want to. I didn't have a dad to follow me around and coach me and teach me and teach me the ins and outs of the game and things like that. So it was also taking me away from my kids, and so I wanted to make sure that I was that dad, because I didn't know any other way. It could have worked out for them if I continued to officiate, but I don't think I would have been able to spend the time with them. That that was one of the reasons why I retired so early. I was still averaging somewhere around 25, 26 when I retired, and but it was each time I left, it became harder, because back then the kids could come all the way to the gate. Before 9/11, the kids could come all the way to the gate, and it became tougher and tougher. Each time you leave, you can see the kids waving at the plane. Man, that became hard, and so I just want to make sure I was there for my kids. My boys who wanted to play and be somebody in the game. I just I didn't think anyone deserved the right to train my boys and coach my boys other than their dad. The person that's been through this war that they're trying to go through.
Yeah, bravo for that.
You did wrap up your career in the Philippines, right, Lamont? I mean, you 99 to 2002, you still stood up for the San Miguel Beermen. Was it fitting that you actually said after the Philippines, I'm calling it quits as a player?
I was see one thing I've told people about this story. I played basketball for the love of the game, not for the check. So if you play for the love of the game, the checks will come. And then I also play, for my family. Like when I speak and I tell these kids and just people in general that, when your why is strong enough, your how will show up. And that was one of the things that, I understood my why, because like I said, I had a family, I had kids before I even went to the NBA, and so it was fine playing for the love of the game, and then once I realized that I was okay to be able to walk away from the game, I didn't want to play for the check, and because I felt like I would be cheating the game, and then I wouldn't give you my all because I'm just worried about the check, not worried about whether I win, lose, and I don't know how to play any other way. So I decided to say, hey, I told my wife, I'm ready. Let's change roles. When I come home and be with the kids, and she, I paid for her to finish her college career because she followed me around, and I feel like I owe her that, So she went back and finished all her degrees. She's now a doctor in education. I just recently graduated from college. I went back. I told my boys, I said, hey, I'm going to do this because regardless of what, I want to show you that you can go back and finish, and I told them, I said, well, I'm here gone. You got to go back and finish. You got to finish it, whether you finish it now, whether you finish it later. You got to finish it, and because I was the second guy in my family, second boy in my family to graduate from college, from my father.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, from my father's lineage. So I wanted to make that happen. But anyway, like I said, I stepped away from it because I was no longer having fun. You know, I was no longer having fun. I was now playing because, you know who kind of sealed that deal for me? Mario Bennett. Mario Bennett.
Okay.
What did Mario do? What did Mario do?
Because
Or say?
he was a guy that was so talented, but there were just things that I just didn't agree with as a talent and as an athlete that he did, you know, and I just said, you know, I can't be coach and player and coach and dad and all. I was like, man, you know, come on, man, you're a grown man, you know. I mean, take the game serious, and so I thought that kind of sealed the deal. Like, you know what, it's time to go, you know, because you know it was making me angry and I wasn't having fun anymore, and then, you know, when June Bernardino suspended me for that game, I deserved it. Yeah, I deserved it.
Yeah, I remember that you and Mario got pretty emotional that game, and you guys took off your jerseys and all of that. I remember that.
I did. I don't know what Mario did, but I know what I did.
That's very clear to me. I just remember I was watching that game on TV. I'm like, wow, Mario Bennett, because he was a former Laker. I'm a Laker fan, so I was watching him, and wow, you guys kind of, you kind of lost it in that game.
Yeah, I threw the ball way up in the stands.
I think it's still there.
The guy said, hey, man, that ball like it came out of a cannon, you know. But I thought that because we were playing Santa Lucia, and you know, I felt like they were tired of us winning, and I you know, I didn't think that the calls went well. I had a knack for drawing the foul, so I got Chris Ton. I got him in the air, and I went under him and I got the three. I got the foul, and they didn't call it, and because we needed those 3 points, so they didn't call it. And De Leon, he laughed. I didn't think it was funny, and that's when everything went crazy.
Yeah. It happens. You know, it's an emotional game.
Everything went crazy. But I mean, man, I had a great time in the Philippines. I enjoyed the league. I enjoyed the people. I felt like the people enjoyed me, and
they did for sure.
They did.
You know, I would always stand. I felt like it was our duty to stand outside for a little while anyway and sign autographs for the kids and whoever else wanted it. You know, I just thought it was our duty to do that, and so I enjoyed it.
Well, definitely, you are one of the most well-loved PBA imports. You know, I mean, during your time, when you come back that often, obviously the crowd, even the guys who
For one
cheer for
team.
Ginebra, but they cheer for Ginebra, they cheer for Santa Lucia, but they love Lamont Strothers. They hated it when you were killing their teams, for sure, right? But when you know, when they're watching you on TV against other teams, you know, they were enjoying you spinning around and then doing all the stuff that you did. So we appreciate.
Not Ginebra fans, though.
Yeah, not Ginebra fans.
No,
they say unstoppable Lamont.
The Ginebra fans hated me.
Of course, that's because you were so good, right? But yeah, so we'd like to thank you for sharing your story, your basketball journey with us. What last question before we enter our final segments here in the show? What keeps you busy today?
Well, I coach with the Nike traveling team. I coach with that team with Boo Williams. I thought Boo played in the Philippines, but with Boo Williams, I coached at the high school, and I train a lot of kids in the area. I run a youth organization that I've been running now for 19 years. I have a 19-year running annual summer program, which it starts again on Monday. Monday is the last week for it, and so that's basically what I do.
So it's still you're still connected to basketball. Basketball is not gonna, you're always gonna be a part of the sport, of course. Right?
Yeah. I mean, once a coach, always a coach.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose,
Yeah,
and I'm
there you
always a
go.
basketball fan as well. Anything, guys, to add before
No.
we go into the regular segments? Nice
We're
stories
good.
from Lamont Strothers, but we have our regular segments. That, of course, was the time capsule brought to us by Fitbit. But now we're going to enter into what we call the Twilight Zone. That means we're about to end the show, but we have to do our regular segments. And the first part of our Twilight Zone is called X's or O's, and it's brought to us by Tuminugan Farm, your private paradise in the heart of Bukidnon. If you need to relax and unwind, why not rejuvenate and reconnect with nature right at the foot of the Kitanglad mountain range in Bukidnon? You can choose from a wide range of accommodations: the farmhouse, the bungalow, the cottage, or the tulugan. So it can accommodate entire families, groups of friends, backpackers, and even team building events. Go to tuminuganfarm.com. Book now and start your Mindanao adventure today. All right. So in X's or O's, Lamont, I'm just gonna go through a list of choices I made for you. You just have to tell me which you choose. You don't have to explain why you chose it. Just choose one of all the choices that I made for you. Okay, it's a list. Let's go through it now. Number one. These are the guys from your draft batch: Kenny Anderson or Terrell Brandon.
I don't remember Terrell Brandon.
Okay, so Kenny
Kenny
Anderson, I
Anderson.
suppose. Okay,
Yeah,
Kenny Anderson. Okay, Dallas Mavericks or Portland Trailblazers?
Portland Trailblazers.
Portland Trailblazers. Lakers or Celtics?
Hmm.
Come
Celtics.
on. Yes, sir.
Huh? Celtics. Okay. Okay. How about these point guards of your time when you were in the NBA? Stockton or Kevin Johnson?
Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson, KJ. Patrick
I
Ewing
just wanna
or
I just
David
wanna ask, sorry,
Robinson?
sorry, I just wanna ask something,
Okay.
Charlie. I mean, you went up
Okay.
against John Stockton. Is he really a dirty player when you try to guard John
Um,
Stockton?
I don't know. I didn't guard him. I would have guarded
Okay.
like Hornacek, somebody like that.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
you're playing the two guard. Okay. And Hornacek's not a dirty player. Okay. Centers: David Robinson or Patrick Ewing?
David Robinson.
David Robinson. Okay. Rick Adelman or Richie Adubato?
Neither.
Neither.
That's a new one.
Okay. Okay. That's a new
That's a
one.
new one.
Okay. Okay. Next one: Norman Black, Ron Jacobs, or Jong Wichiko?
Is that a ranking order? I just got to pick one.
Just pick one.
Probably John.
Probably Jong. Okay. Probably Jong.
It's his birthday today, by the
Samboy.
way. Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Coach Jong.
Oh,
Yeah.
happy birthday,
Yep.
John.
Samboy or Allen? Kaidik.
Damn.
Damn.
Allen.
Okay.
Allen. Okay. Okay. Nelson the Bull or Nick Velasco?
Nick.
Nick. Okay.
Mhm.
Art De La Cruz or Freddie Abuda?
Mm.
Freddie.
Freddie.
Mm.
Dwight Lago or Rob Duat?
Dwight.
Dwight. Okay. Joey Mente or Mike Mustre?
Mike.
Mike. Okay. Don Ontiveros or Franz Pumaren?
Don.
Don. Okay. Facing a system-oriented team like Alaska or facing a crowd favorite like Ginebra?
Alaska.
Alaska.
Mhm.
Eric Menk or Benji Paras?
Probably Eric Mick.
Eric Menk.
Okay, this one, I think you chose this earlier. Meneses or Duremdes?
The Remdis.
Mm.
Taking it to the hoop or taking a three?
Today or back then?
I don't know.
Whatever you
Good
want.
choice.
It makes a difference.
Back then.
I know, I know.
Back then.
Back then. Peak of your career. Peak of your career.
Man. I was probably taking it to the hoop guy.
That's what I was thinking myself.
Yeah.
Offense or defense?
That's a need, but I would say And I would play offense.
Offense, yeah, you're a shooter. You were a scorer. Okay, 1999 Governors Cup Championship or 2000 Governors Cup Championship?
I would say 99 because that was the first and that was special.
And you were the best
That was,
import of that
yeah, you were
tournament.
the best import.
As,
Yeah.
Asi Taulava or Marlo Aquino?
Aussie,
Olsen Rosella or Boybits Victoria?
Olsen.
Olsen. And the last one, please show the photo, Claude. Pacino or De
Those
Niro?
my guys, man. Those my guys, man. Oh man.
Can you choose one or is it a tie?
Oh God, man. Oh my God. Look. So, man.
First time I see somebody
Okay.
torn over this picture.
So look. You know, when I see this, like right away, I see Meet the Fockers. You know,
Yeah.
and
And
then
any given Sunday.
and then with
Pacino.
Pacino.
the sin of a woman.
Son of a
Yeah.
woman.
Yes.
Hoo-ah.
Yep.
You
Hoo-ha.
know, man. Oh God,
Heat.
Yeah.
Heat, yeah.
Yeah, Heat, they were together, right? So,
Yeah. They were.
I think I would go with Al because he was a more intense actor.
okay. That was the toughest one in that whole
Yeah.
list. Huh?
Yeah.
What took you the
You
longest?
really
That was
agonized
the-
over that one.
Well, thanks for that. That's X's or O's for episode
So
183.
Bob De
Okay?
Niro wasn't tough in Raging Bull, huh? Bob De Niro wasn't tough in Raging Bull.
But Al
We'll let him
Pacino,
know.
man. Come on,
Yeah, it's
man.
Al Pacino.
Man, you got to go all the way back from Scarface.
That's right.
Yeah,
Even your Godfather.
you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Oh, I'll pass the ball. I'll pass the ball now to Sid. To Noel Zarate.
No,
Go, Noel.
to me, yeah. So my segment is called Seryosong Tanong, and I'm gonna need the graphics because I don't know the script, Claudia. All right, there we go. Seryosong Tanong, brought to us by Seryoso Chili Garlic, and this is of course a delicious, aromatic, crispy garlic bits in pure coconut oil, made with natural, locally sourced ingredients. And there is no salt. I know that's where it comes from. No salt, no artificial flavorings, no preservatives. Ito ang chili garlic na seryoso manghang, kaya kang panindigan, di gaya ng ex mo. All right, my question really is about your time in the Philippines, Lamont. At the peak of your career, you were considered like a demigod in this country. You were, if you had stayed here, you would have been royalty. If you were given a chance to go back in time and make the decision, would you have stayed in the Philippines? Like this, at the peak of your success in the Philippines, would you have decided to stay for good, like Sean Chambers, Norman Black, and the rest of those guys?
Well, I was asked what two countries would I have stayed in if I wanted to stay in, was Israel and the Philippines. And we had already contemplated about staying, but because I had older children, it's the only reason why I came back.
Okay.
So yeah, I was to answer your question. If I hadn't had my older kids, yes, we would probably stay. I would probably continue to play as well.
Mm-hmm. And follow the footsteps of Norman Black and probably be coaching in the PBA right now, right?
Yeah, or who knows?
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Well, what could have been, right?
Yeah, that's really one of the big what ifs if Lamont Strothers stayed.
Like Lou Rawls woulda, coulda, shoulda.
And you sound like Lou Rawls, by the way, with your big baritone voice.
Yeah,
and thanks for answering that question. That is our Seryosong Tanong brought to us. You are what?
I'm hoarse right now. I just came. I rushed from. I coached
okay.
I coached.
Thanks for rushing home. Thanks for rushing home.
Thanks.
So I appreciate
that. I thought you spent the night singing karaoke or something. That's why your voice is like that. But that is the Seryosong Tanong brought to us by Seryoso Chili Garlic. Over to you, Sid Ventura.
Okay, my segment, Lamont, it's brought to you by Manila Cookie Story. Okay, very good cookie flavors. Just check out their social media pages, and there you can see all of the flavors. I really like the dark chocolate chips. Okay, there's
I
also queso
like
de
the queso
bola,
de
cafe
bola one.
Morocco,
Yeah.
and of course
Mhm.
plain. You can buy them at Cultura, Franklin Friends, Snack Exchange, and Starbucks. Okay, just check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, my question for you, Lamont: if you could have dinner with any basketball player, past or present, living or dead, American, Filipino, European, who would it be and why?
Hmm. Um, Probably Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Again,
All right.
Bill
again. Okay.
Russell.
Yeah, again, Russell.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
He
Andrew
said he
Russell.
was a
Bill.
Celtics fan, Sid. Yeah, but
Yeah.
why Bill? Why
Well,
Bill Russell?
I'm not a Celtic fan, but you asked me which would I
Yes, yes,
choose.
yes.
You
Okay.
know,
As long as you don't
um,
like
He's
the
not.
Lakers, that's
He's not
fine.
a Celtic
Yeah,
fan. He's
and
not a Celtic
as
fan.
long as it's not the Lakers, it doesn't
All right.
matter.
Anyway, yeah,
Okay.
go. Why Bill Russell?
because I'm a guy that loves history.
Mhm.
And Bill, Mr. Russell, he was like the epitome of history, from what he had to deal with all the way back
Yeah.
from, when the white people didn't want him to play, wouldn't let him play. And then once um, the one player, and it's sort of like Jackie Robinson, once the one player embraced him, then it's as if he was accepted, but just with the history, a lot of wisdom, you know, that he shared with players all the time. So probably Bill Russell.
Right. Great answer. Great answer.
Yeah, that's a
Great,
great
great, of
answer.
course. And,
Yeah.
and, and we're not surprised anymore because you're like the third or fourth guy who said Bill Russell
Yeah.
for that
Mhm.
segment already. Okay, so now this is the last part for all of this. It's called Hello Porky. This is the greetings portion, Lamont. Before we let you go, you had a nice basketball career, especially here in the Philippines. Imagine 7 conferences. You're one of the most productive imports in PBA history because you were here so often. So this is your chance to say hello, acknowledge, give thanks, just give shout outs to anyone in your basketball career, anyone you want to say hello to. Now's the time before we let you go.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thanks and to everybody that's always supported me. I get a lot of messages from different people on Facebook Messenger from the Philippines, and I always respond. And I just want to thank everyone for always being a supporter of mine. One day, we've had talks with me coming back visiting. So I think when I do that, when I decide to do that, I will announce it. Just so run into some people. But the with John, I know John was just he was somewhere with my cousin Howard Fryer, and they had a long conversation. But anyway, just want to say, man, thanks for everything, and you guys too for staying in contact with me, bring my face back to the screen
Mhm.
in order to say hello to everybody, and just
Our pleasure. Our
thanks for
pleasure.
supporting me over the years.
Thank you.
Well, did you have like a podcast during the pandemic as well that you
No,
started?
I haven't started yet. Um, we are in the makings of it. Um, it's gonna be pretty good. I mean, it's uplifting. It's more of a motivational and celebratory podcast, more than anything. Just
Mhm.
highlighting some people that don't normally get the 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 highlight, of
Okay.
what they do for their kids.
Oh,
Well, good
okay.
luck on that. Good luck on that. And thanks for sharing your story, guys. Episode 183 with the helicopter, Mr. Strut, DJ
Wow.
Strut, on our show, Lamont Strothers. We enjoyed watching you back then, and we enjoyed chatting with you today. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Before we go,
Me too.
we'd like to acknowledge, of course, San Miguel Corporation, which powers our show, which is really apt
Helicopter.
for today because you're a San Miguel guy. We also thank Tuminugan Farm, Seryoso Chili Garlic, Manila Cookie Story, and Fitbit, of course, for supporting us. We thank PBA Archives and, of course, PH Sports Bureau for always helping us out with the information and the photos that we put on our time capsule. We'd like to acknowledge the birthday celebrants from past guests who celebrated their birthdays this past week. L.A. Tenorio, Dante Gonzalgo, Ray Lazaro, Marlo Hakotin, Coach Jong Wichiko, happy birthday today. And of
Yep.
course, former
Today.
import Larry Pound. Larry Pounds also was our guest recently. He's based in Finland now. So happy birthday to all of those. And thank you everybody. We are going to name our next guest as soon as we can on our Facebook page. Continue to follow us there, and we'll come out with that news. Who's our next guest? I think Lamont knows him. I played against him back in the late '90s.
That's a good hint.
We'll just confirm it. We'll just confirm it, and then we're gonna put it there on our Facebook page. So that does it for episode 183. It's now in the books. God bless you all for watching. I'm Charlie Cuna on behalf of Sid Ventura and Noel Zaratel. Lamont Strothers, the helicopter, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Our pleasure, man. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll see you all next week. Take care,
right.
Lamont.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you. Thank
Enjoy
you,
the
Global
beach.
Ballin. All right.